there wasn't nothing like that
Right.
around, so.
And my daughter, she says, well, she's got having anxiety. And I said, I don't know
Yeah.
what to do about it.
Well, I did, when I was in the military, I didn't know I had anxiety attack. I was talking to my mom, I was like, I don't know what's going on. My heart's just beating really fast. I'm like so stressed and my mind is going everywhere at once. And I'm just work because I was away from my kids.
Uh-huh.
That was one of the times when I had training for 3 to 6 months away from my kids. So I kept thinking about them, so I got anxiety.
Uh-huh.
My mom said, I think you're having an anxiety attack. And I was like, really? Is that all? So what I told my daughter is, I remember that part of my life, and I was like, I had to sit there and say, okay, my kids are.
Can you hear me? Okay. Been a while. We had some bad weather down here. So we haven't been, actually haven't had class since that last day we had it because of this weather. We had ice. I'm glad we made it back today. So, but it's Dongon, Jokayadega. It's Dongon, Jokayadega. That is, we don't have good morning. We don't have good morning, so we have, did you make it through the night okay? It's Dongon, Jokayadega. Okay, but that's to one person. But when you're talking to a group, you're saying, it's Dongon Jokayadega ga. It's Dongon Jokayadega ga. See the difference in the ending?
Yeah.
One is Dongon Jokayadega, and then the other one is Dongon Jokayadega ga. So this is where your ending change, okay? So make sure, and in most of this language, it's ending beginnings. They just change. And that's where the tone comes from. Okay, I know we went into this because I thought we're never gonna get enough of this, but we're not gonna spend as much time as we did before. We're just going to go over them, okay? Ah, she, it, fi, he, a, ki, le, me, ni. Remember this? Oh, it's not O, it's O. B, C, D, U, A, we, ye. When you take this, when you do this, all these sounds are in the Mvskoke word, okay? And I say our language is sounds, because you will find this out. Okay, the ones that really mixes people up is this right here, the. You've been looking at it as an R all your life, but it's the. And I prefer you to spell in the Mvskoke language so you can get these sounds down. Like dinitki. Dinitki is thunder. So you would say D-E-N-E-T-K-E. And that's how I rather have my students do it, because if you say T-E-N-E-T-K-E, that's English. And like I said, the language is sounds. It's sounds. So it's D-E-N-E-T-K-E. Okay? So try to get yourself in habit of that. I don't know how to remove this. Sure, you might. Ooh. Now, how do I go back?
I'm not familiar with this one.
Oh my. Let me see. Hey, come on in. Uh-huh. All my deals are done. Okay. Okay. All right, so what we're gonna do here is we're going to go through the 3 and 2 letter sounds. Ja, chi, j, do, ju, ja. Fa, fi, fe, fo. Now remember, this is putting 2 single sounds together. Okay? And when you do that, this is where you're coming in. Ja, chi, je, jo, ju, ja. Fa, fi, fe, fo, fu, fa. Ga, gi, ge, go, gu, ga. Ha, he, hey, ho, hu, ha. La, li, le, lo, lu, la. Ma, mi, me, mo, mu, ma. Ba, bi, be, bo, boo, ba. Now listen to these sounds. You don't hear ba, bi, be, bo, boo, ba in English because this is not English. And you'll hear these in the Creek, in a Mvskoke word, in our sounds when you're speaking, okay? And that's why I encourage that. Fa, fi, fe, so, su, sa. When you put 2 sounds, 2 single sounds together, that's the sound you'll get. Sa, si, se, so, su, sa. Da, di, de, do, do, da. Wa, we, way, wo, woo, wa. Ya, ye, ye, yo, you, ya. Off, if, off, oof, of. Ak, ik, ok, ook, ak. Al, il, el, ol, ul, al. Im, aim, an, in, ein, on, un. Ab, ib, eb, ob, up. As, is, es, os, us, us. At, it, ate, ot, ut, at. See hear those sounds? To me, this sounds really strange. At, it, ate, ot, ut, at. And that's because it's not English. Being an English dominant world, we don't hardly hear those sounds. We don't hear them at all. But in the Mvskoke language, you will hear it. You will hear that. That's nothing strange to the Mvskoke language. Okay, here we go. We're going to start with, this is putting 3 letter sounds together. 3 single sounds together will make this. Sock, seek, shake, sook, sook, suck. Lock, leak, lake, look, look, luck. That should be an I, lake. Moss, meese, mace, mos, moose, mus. Mott, meat, mate, mort, moot, mutt. Hawk, heek, hake, hook, hook, huck. Hoss, heath, haste, hose, goose, huss. Mock, meek, make, mook, mook, muck. Mon, mean, main, mun, moon, mun. Hull, hear that? Heel, hail, hole, hul, hull. Knock, neek, nake, nook, nook, nuck. Fast, feast, face, force, foos, fuss. Joss, cheese, jace, joss, juice, just. Spa, speed, spay, spore, spoo, spot. Sla, slee, slay, slow, slew, slut. Yeek, yeast, yit, yeech, yun, yuck. Sheem, fien, gut, ma, gun, ha, hun. Bun, loaf, vat, gat, these, ska. Hal, hut, hum, jit, luf, ul. Wak, sap, nit, bil, jak, wak. Git, fat, yin, ska, bon, sa. Book, left, hook, dot, chief, sock. Okay. See, these sounds are heard. They're not heard at all because this is a Mvskoke language. None of these sounds are probably in the English phonics. But you need to start spelling like this. B O G. Li a fi. He o p. T a t. G e fi. C a ki. You need to learn to do that. And I always stress that, if you can't, forget English. Forget English. Don't look at this as P-O-K. Look at it as B-O-K. B-O-K. See? And that's what I mean by when I say forget English. Because this is not English language. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how these come in. We went over these papers before and you've had them. Okay. This is solar and lunar. Solar and lunar is a big part of our tribe. We do things by the moon. Like my mom used to predict baby's birth by the moon. She said, you're gonna have this baby so and so, and usually it was either one day before or one day what she predicted after. And she'd go by the moon. So the moon and stuff had a lot of things to do with our tribe, with the way we believe. And she'd say, that month is no good. You go by the moon. She went by the moon. Okay, look here. Look here. Hunitha. Hunitha. Oh, it's supposed to have another R there. Hunitha. See? This is broke up, but now tell me, this means north. But look at the sounds here. It's all those sounds that we've been learning. Ga, sup, bo, fa. See how they're broke down? Ga, sup, bo, fa. You can't tell me our language is not sounds. That's why I stress sounds, okay? Ga, sup, bo, fa. If you go back to your sound paper, if you got it laying out, you'll see it. So our language is sounds, and that means north. Everybody else says north, but we say nita or kosapofa. Okay. See how you're just gonna find every one of these sounds in your sound papers. Wahala. Wahala. Ligot hofa. Ligot hofa. That's sounds inside the warm. But look at these sounds. Go back to your sound paper. You're going to see these sounds. So that's why I tell you spell like this. We, but when you put we and together, you get wa. Remember, it's in your paper. Hul. Remember, I told you anytime you got the and li, it's hul. This is wahala. La. It's in your sound paper. Li got ofa. Li got ofa. That means inside the warm. Inside the warm area. But the original word for it is wahala. Wahala. Okay? This is where you're going to learn how to pronounce words and your tone will come with it. Because tones, our language has tones. It has all kinds. Our language is so unique that it has its own tones. Okay, remember now when you have two consonants like here and here, here and here, there's no silent sounds in the Mvskoke language. You got to say both of them. Hasosa. Remember, I said no silent sounds, but remember I told you to pay attention to your mouth, where your tongue placement is, the hissing sound and everything, how your jaws puff out, where your teeth is, where your tongue is. Okay, right there. You don't hear that first C here. Hasos. It's like a snake. Hasosa. Hasosa. See? Okay. That's how you're gonna do this now. Hasosa. Look here. Wahala. And you don't hear this li because it's like wahala. Your tongue is on top of your palate behind your front teeth. Wahala. Okay. Now, so this is, anybody have any questions? Because this is where we're going to start going into spelling here. We're going into spelling. We're going into phrases. We are going into this because of the fact that we need to learn these sounds. Okay. This is where sounds. This is where I told you there's proof that our language is sounds. And that's why I stress sounds. In order to enunciate right, in order to read it right, in order to spell it right, in order to get your tones right, in order to start. Okay. And hasosha. Okay, remember every word usually has a base word. Osha means to come out. So this saying, sun coming out. Hasosha, this is short for hushy, and this means oshida. It goes back to your infinitive verb. Remember, your infinitive verb is oshida. Anything with the etb, eta in it, you change it to you're doing it, whatever. This saying, sun coming out, hasosha. It's coming out. Hashaklatka. This T should have been right here. Hashaklatka. Okay, this should have, the mark should have been right here. Hasaklatka. Okay, ha is short for hussy. And latka means what? It falls down. Letkida is to fall, infinitive verb. But when you say latka means something that falls. It's just the ending that changes, guys. So if you have any questions, make sure you ask. Because remember, there's no stupid questions. Don't be afraid to make a mistake. You got one? Go ahead.
OJ, in Hozoza, Geja, in Nagidawa.
That means in the east, in Hashosha, or in Hashalatka. That's belonging to it, belonging to that east, or belonging to that thing, okay? West of that, I guess you could say, or east of that. Okay. So see, all these got base words, most of them. Okay. Now this one, wahala. There is, I don't know what wahala. That's an old word, wahala. But I like that word. I don't know why. That just, I like saying it, wahala. I ain't never heard anything like it. I heard it when I was growing up. Wahala. Ligot ofa. Ofa. That means inside the one. Ligot. Ligot is a base word for ligot. It's just being cut off. Ligot. And ofa means inside the one. Okay. So see how these are coming together. Ligot hida is to get warm. Okay. Is to get warm. So, like I said, our language is more verb prominent. There's a lot of verbs in our language. So most of these are infinitive verbs. And you know, that's strange to me, you know. The more I studied this language, the more I'm intrigued. And what kind of, you know, and when I speak this language, I'm always thinking, what's this word for this? You know, and I can hold a whole conversation and have questions. I said, why do they say this? Why would we say something like this? And we got some expressions, and we're gonna go through those expressions like, hey, love, or imadot, dawadi. It's this language is, to me, is just really interesting, and that's what we're gonna go through, guys. You're gonna learn all kind of things like this, expressions like, hey, look, dawadi, moyi. And I've heard these old ladies talking. Maybe they were talking about somebody, or they were talking about something, and I'd hear one of them say, moyi. And that's just like in English saying, really? Really? See? And that's where I hear these things, and I go back to these things, and I'm thinking, that's what they were saying. Really? When you say moyi, I'd hear them, while they were cooking or just talking on a porch or something. I'd hear that expression. And just now getting into the, for the last, I guess, 11, 10 years, I was studying this language. When I went in depth into it, I started questioning all these things. And it was really an eye-opener for me. And I want to share some info with you. If you look in the book of Genesis in the Bible, you will see two words in there, Leland and yeoman. Those are Hebrew words. Now, how did two Hebrew words get into our Mvskoke Bible? It took me 4 months to find where Leland and yeoman came from. I looked and I looked and I looked. So I went back to the story saying, okay, I never heard these two words. Where'd they come from? I never heard of yeoman or Leland in the Mvskoke language. So I went looking, and I looked, and finally, I asked one of the girls, do y'all have a Hebrew dictionary? She said, you're in luck, Becky. She said, I took Hebrew in college. She said, I got a dictionary. I have a dictionary, so we looked at it. They were Hebrew words. They were in the dictionary. They were in the Hebrew dictionary. And they mean just night and day. But I started thinking about how did these two words get stuck in between these when they were using, because night and day, night is nithi and day is nitta. So where did yeoman and Leland come from? Hebrews. How did those Hebrew words get in there? Because I ain't never heard it. That's how come I went into this in-depth thing. I had that Bible out on Genesis for the longest. I knew what it was saying by the situation environment, but I thought, I had never heard these two words. That was the most intriguing thing that I ever found, and I was like, oh my God, this is what this is. Strange. So was the story right? Did they actually sit down with the Hebrew people and translate the Bible as they were saying it? Because the story says they actually sat down with the Hebrew people and translated the Bible as they were telling them into Mvskoke. Was that a mistake? Was it a mistake? Was it? Or did they write it down as they heard it? We don't know, did we? We actually don't know. But that's where interest comes in, guys. This is where interest came in for me too. It just added to the fuel. Added to the fuel. So I started looking into these different words. Where did it come from? Where's the base word? Where did this word come from? Like wahala. This word right here, wahala. Wahala. I ain't never heard a word like that either. Wahala. It has to be either a old word or could it be another language? We don't know, do we? How about, because I know these are descriptive words because we did not have directions. Hazaglaka means sun fallen. That is a descriptive word. Hasosha, that means sunrise, the sun coming out. But then you got sun fallen. But wahala, strange. See, that's where my interest came in, guys. That's where all my interest came in. Okay, look here. Here we go. Hushi, hushi. See those sounds? Hushi is sun. These, there's that double consonant right there. You got to pronounce both of them, but the first one doesn't come out as much. These, the comes out here, but you just got the hissing sound right here. These, see. When you learn your sound and you say see, you just said sun, guys. These, see is moon. Golash, go, lash, wa is stars. They're all in your sounds. Language is sounds. We can call them words, but they're sounds. Okay, look here. Guji Chamba. Those are those little bitty stars that you see in the sky. This is the big shiny ones. This is those little bitty tiny ones. Guji Chamba. Every one of these are in your sound paper. Guji Chamba. They're stars. Guji Chamba. That's all those little bitty stars that scattered around. You know, the other night I seen that because it was real cold that night. And the big stars were out because the clouds went away. And I ain't never seen so many little stars. They were just scattered everywhere. And they used to tell them, those are Guji Chamba. See, there's a difference. Golaswas, those big shiny stars, and Guji Chamba. Y'all can read this, guys, because it's broke down into sounds. You know what it means. So next time, if I say Guji Chamba, you're going to know what it is. Because you learned your sounds, you got the enunciation right. Guji Chamba. And this me here, you don't hardly hear it, but your lips are put together. Guji Chamba. Your lips are together. Guji Chamba is there. Sounds, guys. I want you to learn. I want you to know why these sounds are important to me. Because my job is to save the language. If you learn Unitha or Gashapofa, you just say the word north. There may not be anybody else that knows it, but you do, guys. Wahala, wahala, or ligot ofa. This is actually right here, ligot ofa. It's supposed to be, they say ligot ofa, but we say ligot ofa. South, wahala. Wahala. I don't know where this came from. So a word, like I said, but this is saying inside the warmth, inside where it's warm, inside it. Hashosha, hashosha. It's saying sun coming out, hashosha. So this is how sounds are coming in. That's why we spent so much time on sounds and why it became redundant. Maybe even to the point of boring. But this is worse. So this is going to help you. If you can go back and keep studying these sounds, I'll help you with this. Okay. Look here. These are all broke down in sounds, guys. But they're phrases. Hashi hei dos. The sun is hot. Ha. Hear these sounds? Every one of these in your sound paper. Hashi hei dos. Sun hot is. Remember? They're not like English. It's not like English, okay? You're going with your down first. Most of the time, 90% of the time, noun will go first. And then adjective, okay? The moon is bright. You know, everybody says that. Moon is bright, but you're going to say, Hathisi hayayagosi dos. Hathisi is moon. Hayayagi is a base word for hayayagoshi. Hayayagoshi means really bright. But your base word is hayayagi. Hayayagi means it's lighted up. But when you say it this way, you're saying bright. Hayayagoshi dos. Hathisi. Every one of these is using your sound paper. Hayayagoshi dos. And my mom used to say that. She used to say, pick that hayayagoshi dos. She was saying outside is really bright. And you know, me and my husband, when it's bright outside, we sit outside during the summertime. We sit outside and just sit out there because it's so bright. Look here. Go lashwa. Solgi dos. There is a lot of stars. Go lashwa is star. Solgi is a lot. Dos is. But look at this. In English, they're saying there is a lot of stars. But if you literally translated this, you're saying stars a lot is. And you know, in the language, sometimes 2 words will take place of 10, a sentence with 10 words. But sometimes a 2-word phrase in English or 3 words take 15 words to do it in Mvskoke. It's just 15. So, any questions so far? Do you have any questions? Let's get some questions here. Or is it that? But do you know where my sounds are important?
Yeah.
See, I got one student in here. And one our worker. We got another employee started. So here we go. We're on the road here now. Okay. So sounds. Look at this. All this is sounds. That's why we spend so much time on sounds. Ido. Single. Do. Ido. Nick. Te. G. Dos. We burn wood. Ido. Nick. Te. G. Dos. We burn wood. And that's true for me. I still burn wood at my house, me and my husband. And that's because we like direct heat. We can't get warm with the wood, and when it's really cold, we will turn on the furnace. But we just like that direct heat. And so we'll start our wood stove and we got a den that we got our wood stove in a den. So the other night, you know, we wasn't at work and my grandkids wasn't in school and their mother got stuck at her job for 2 days. We had the grandkids and I said, okay, tonight's movie night. I said, what do y'all want to watch? So he said, my husband said, you want it warm? You want it? You want it warm? 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 You want it And my grandkid said, come see. So we was in a den, we was watching a movie, and then, so I told him, movie night tonight, we had popcorn and funnel cakes. And I'll make my funnel cakes homemade, so we had that, we sit there, and, you know, we had a movie night. And when their mother finally made it home, they said, Mom, can we have a movie night? And she said, what's that? Because she works at night. And she got stuck for 2 days. Ro could not travel on it. So look here. Bahi, Dutch, Bahi. That's in your sound. Dutchka. Osa han dos. Bahi is grass. Dutchka, to cut. Osa, time. Han dos, going to be. It's going to be time to cut grass. Now look at that. Look how that's said. It's going to be time to cut grass. That makes sense. But this and this, Bahi Dutchka Osa han dos. It's backward. I always say the English language is backward. We're right. Bahi. Bahi is grass. Dutchka, to be cut. Osa, time. Handos is going. Bahi Dutchka. Osa handos. Okay. Bahi Dutchka. Osa handos. Okay. The flowers are pretty. Bak. There should be a should be a dash right there. Bakpa gochi. Bakpa gochi. You just sound it out and then put them together. Bakpa gochi. That's all in your sounds. He sa go si dos. Hear that tone? But I'm just following these sounds. Bakpa. There should be a dash here. Bakpa gochi. He sa go si dos. The flowers are pretty. And you're saying, in the tone, you're saying the flowers are pretty. Bakpa gochi. He sa. Hear that? Ah. Remember, tone comes with those sounds, learning them sounds. He sa go si dos. Flowers are pretty. There's a lot of rocks. Ja do sol gi dos. Ja do sol gi dos. Rock, a lot is. But look at this sentence here. There are a lot of rocks. 3 words here. Ja do sol gi dos. That says it all, guys. You're saying there's a lot of rocks right here. But look at the sounds. Ja do sol gi dos. Now, if we need to go back to sounds, you let me know, okay? We will go over those sounds because that's what's important here. The lake is big, or the lake is huge. The lake is large. Look here. Here's your sounds again. Ak, ha, si, ko, ki, dos. It's saying right here. Pond. Remember now, pond, we don't have a word for lake. It's pond. Big is big. Big. Akasitako. Lake, big is. This is lake, because we didn't have, this is a big pond. Okay, that's what we call a lake. But look here. Akasitako. Sakidos. The fire is warm. Dot, here, dot, D-O-T, dot, ka, ligut he dos. Ligut he is warm. Dos is, dot, ka is fire. Dot, ka, ligut he dos. Okay, when you see this, and you don't hardly say the D, but it's there. Dot. It's there. Your tongue comes down from off your palate. Dotka. Ligot hidos. Okay, look here. Here we go. The water is cold. Owa. Ga. Sapedos. O. Owa. 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 Ga. Sapedos. Owa is water. Hear that? O. Owa. Ga. Sape is cold. Dos is this. You don't have to put that D in there. It's just saying, it's saying exactly what this is. Owa ga sapedos. Oh, look here. I didn't separate those, but I'm going to say it by syllables, okay? The heel is tall. Gun, hal, wu, ji, ma, he, dos. Gun, hal, wu, ji, ma, he, dos. Heel is tall. Gun, hal, wu, ji, ma, he. See, ma, he, dos. Gun, hal, we. Tak, ko. Heach, do, wes. Heach. You don't have that G, but you feel it. Heat. Heat. It's there. Your tongue comes down off your palate. Heach. Do, as I'm looking at the mouth. See? Gun, hal, we. That's mountain. Sako. Big. But because gun, hal, we. Look here. Gun, hal, wuji is a heel. Anything with uji at the end, remember, is small. Anything with uji at the end is small. But when you go here, you're saying gun, hal, we, sako. Big heel. East to west. Mountain is big heel. Gun, halwe, sako. Heat to west. This heat is cut off. It's the word for hijida. The infinitive verb hijida. Okay. You're just saying, I'm looking at the mountain. Any questions? And we're going to go through some more phrases. We're going to do greetings. And if you have any questions, you need to ask, okay? Because this is what we're going to do. I mean, you know, this is where I'm sounds.
Hi, I have a question.
Sure. Abohibas, go ahead and ask.
On your sentence, the Ito dictaji dos. Now the dos in that sentence, is that this shows that it's maybe signifying
It
a we?
stands for, okay. Ido, iti, o, ido, nick, the, g, dos. It's like that dos is kind of taken place of like, we burn wood, which that's not a complete sentence in English, is it? Not really. So the dos is in there like a filler. Nick, the, g, nick, this is nick, the, g, the base word is nick, the, g, that's the infinitive verb, nick, the, g, to burn.
Would the dos represent the we in that sentence?
It can, yeah.
Okay.
Any more?
My dough.
Inga.
Honey,
Okay.
we burn wood. Edo, Nick, Gido.
Dos.
Dos.
We burn wood.
Where's the boom?
Nick, the, g, dos.
We doesn't have to have a we as a
No,
boom.
that's in personal pronouns. That means like what you can't transfer. Pochki. Is that what you're saying? Like one?
Boom, boom, we.
Well, right here, look here. Edonik the. She does. This they is saying we.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
He's loud.
Oh yeah. And we'll get to that. See, we'll get to that. You know, if I said I burn wood instead of we, I would say Ido Nick fed J dos.
Oh.
This G made it 3 people. Okay, guys, did y'all hear that? This is where language gets complicated, okay? But we went over personal pronouns. We went over verbs. We'll go back over them, guys. Okay, we'll go back up. G, okay, is third person. So we're saying we, that 3 people.
So Mvhayv, on that same sentence, you couldn't, and he might have just asked it, but you can't say Ito Nikthe we with a UE on the end of it. Would the UE stand for we? Like-
No, because that's the word for we water.
Just UE?
Going into English. You know, we is for like it's for water. We can't do that because it would be a whole different sentence. We can't say idoniktheji, we idoniktheji. Now, see, this is where this is we say we burn wood in English, but we can't say we using you like e, because that means like we gave a well. We water. See, we can't use that because it's 2 different meanings. This we and that ue is 2 different meanings because you're speaking in Mvskoke here with ue, we and here we. Does that kind of answer your question?
Sort of.
Well,
You can't use it as a suffix in on that particular word, like we burn wood.
no, you can't because we in itself is water. In our language, we, the ue, is water. Okay, so we can't use it like we do here. And although it sounded like in English as we and we, this is we like as in people, us. But
How about the word owa? Would that not be water also?
well, okay, here we go. Water is owa. Owa. But we is too.
I'll kick it around.
Does that kind of, because we is water in Mvskoke. We is us in English. We can't interchange it because one is Mvskoke language and one is English. Does that kind of make sense to you? I don't want to confuse you, but that's about the simplest way.
How like we tumka.
Yeah, like we tumka. We tumka in English has got we, W-E, but that's English. They changed it. So we is U-E. U-E, we dumga. We dumga. It's like flying water. So that's kind of, that's a good question though, man. That made me think there for a while because that's what I need is thinking. You know, that trying to explain this is like, you know, so that's a good question. But you're mixing up, you're interchanging English and Mvskoke. And so, you know, what I tell them is cross over back to Mvskoke because I wish I could end it. What you're talking about is this is we in Mvskoke and we wa is water, but this is English we. See, and it means a totally different thing. It means a totally different thing. You're saying we burn wood, but this right here, we is we wa. Does that make sense to you? Did I explain that where you're kind of getting this? Was that Percy?
Yeah, that was me, Percy. Well, I understood the dose representing the is and the are, It just threw me when it was representing that we burn wood in that sentence, and then apparently it represents more than just is and are. It helps us signify a we to it.
Okay, so this G right here makes it like Jimmy, Jimmy Duggy. G is where that comes in, saying we. Yeah, go ahead.
Jimmy Doggy.
G, all of you.
They're taking off the rest, leaving the G. So
Yeah.
Nick Clay G.
Those,
G. Hold Nick Clay G.
Ido, Nick, Te, G, dos.
He said doggy.
G, me,
Well,
doggy. That's Jimmy is you. Okay, but Jimmy, doggy is what? All of you.
So that's what they're doing.
Yeah,
and it's
that's where that's
cutting it
cut off. So see, that's, I didn't even think about that when I was writing these sentences. I'm gonna have to get a little simpler.
You try to get it through.
Yeah, I know you're trying to get it through, but this is where this language, see, I remember it's not English. We can say we burn wood and you would understand it real quick, but right here, see, we had questions. Ido, Nick, Te, G, Dos. That's where y'all's getting confused, but we'll get to that. We're gonna get to stuff like that.
Mvhayv, does that G help represent the first, second, third persons in a word?
Exactly.
Okay, all right.
Exactly. That's what I was, yeah.
Okay, thank you, Mado.
I have a question. I have a question about
Go
that
ahead.
sentence too. It's Edo, and then what I'm hearing is Nick, and the K, it sounds like a K. I don't hear the G sound.
There is no, it's Nick, Nick. See, Ni, Nick, Te, G, Dos. There's no G in the Mvskoke sounds.
I know, but doesn't that K, doesn't that have a G sound instead of the K?
No, it's Nick.
Edo, so this letter, the K, I know it's not pronounced, but is
G.
that pronounced G or K?
Key. If you say Nick, you got a breath coming out, Nick, key. That's what, this is where the sounds are coming in. When you put sounds together, this is where your tongue placement, and you can hear the Nick. Nick, Niiki, Nick, Te, G, Dos. Ido, Nick, hear that key? Te, G, Dos. I can hear the key. I got two in here. Can you hear the key in that? Chinda? Niiki, Nick.
It's kind of like K and a G together.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah.
it is.
Okay. Like a K
Okay.
and G together.
Sometimes you, sometimes you don't, right?
That's true. Ba, he, Dutch. Here we go. There's that again. Dutch. You don't really hear that G, but it's Dutch. It's right there. Your tongue's on your palate. Dutch. Ga. Osa. Handos. Going to be time to cut grass. Bahidutchka. Bahidutch. You don't actually say the G, but it's that Dutchka. Osa Handos. And I got some more phrases that we're going to do, greetings and stuff. So that's one of the things we need to go over. We're going to go over this. So that's the things that this is why sounds, and once you get used to these Mvskoke sounds, it'll be easier for you. And you'll know where they come from, why it's there, and as we go on to this dos is like a filler. Pronouns. G, like ja,
It's not transferable. Anything that's not transferable, just up off my arm. Okay. Akhasi, here's another one I think it's gonna be. Akhasi Thakko. Akhasi is pond. We don't have a word for lake. All we knew was ponds. So we say a big pond, Thakko. Akhasi Thakko is a big pond. Thakki dos. Thakki means big though, right? This is just saying it's a big pond because of the ending. Akhasi Thakko. That ending is making it this big is big. The big pond. Thakki is big. Dos. This is where explanation is very difficult to do in English because it's not English. And like I said, I'll answer I'll try as best I can to answer and explain it in English. But if I had to do it in Mvskoke, I would say, Akashi Thakko Magit Chinowat. Mat Akashi Thakko Dui. Thakki dos Magit Chat. Akashi Thakko Thakki dos. Akashi Thakko but Akashi Thakki Dogis. Thakki Magat Thakki no. See, I can explain it in Mvskoke, but I can't in English. That's just weird to me, and that's why I'm in it. I do this, you know. This right here, Akasi Thakko means a big pond, but it's actually meaning lake, because that's the name for it. Thakidos is big. Okay. The fire is warm. We could say the fire is hot. We could say the fire went out, but this is saying warm. Totka ligut hidos. The fire is warm. Owa. Okay, we can say owa, or we could say this. Wiwa kasapidos. Right here. Wiwa. Owa kasapidos. The water is cold, or we can say wiwa kasapidos, and it means the same thing. Owa and wiwa. A lot of people, you know, the common way we talk, the way I always learned it was owa. But a lot of people, the older ones, they say wiwa. I know a few people that still says wiwa. Wiwa kasapidos. It's not like English we. Wiwa is water in our language. So we say owa kasapidos. We can say owa, which is my common way of saying it. That's all my family ever said was owa. But we can say wiwa. Wiwa kasapidos. Okay? Does that kind of make sense to y'all? We're kind of getting we and we mixed together because they sound alike in English. Any questions? Wow, Hazis Kiskoji. Hazis Kiskoji. Minute. Clock minutes or small clock minutes is saying Orstat Othahaniga. Hazis Kiska Hamga Othahaniga. Hazis Kiska is sun measurer. Hamgin is 1. Osebahaniga Aboka Ojachinowat Abokibas. If y'all got more questions, let's answer them. I'll answer them for you. Go ahead and ask. Hasiskika is a clock. Sun measurer. We didn't have clocks, so we called it sun measurer. He measures the sun. It's a descriptive word. It's amazing. My grandma knew how to tell time. But she would say, yeah, of course she does. She'd say, it's just getting really evening. She knew by the sun. And when the sun was straight up, she'd say, Pachalegitos, it's getting in time. She used the sun, but she didn't know how to read the clock. She knew tell time. I don't know how she learned that because she was illiterate and didn't know how to speak English. Nugget.
Hariyange and history. Chaskidari, Yeoman Davis, Hannah Lega,
I know him.
Yeoman Mvskoke. It's a, get it, that yeoman.
Yeoman.
That's where that yeoman thing.
Ooh, did y'all hear that, guys? Remember I said the Bible? This is a good one. He said, the Hebrew word yeoman. There you go. I learned to tell time by the son from my grandmother. That's right. Because that's what they knew. That's all they knew, guys. But he just had a comment here. He had a
On his thing.
friend. Dad
Mhm.
was Yeoman. Yeoman Davis. I know him. He's been gone a long time, and his wife was named Sister. Okay, did he have a Hebrew name? Yeoman. Could have been in it. Who knows? You know, I knew these elders, but these questions wasn't in my mind at that time. He just had a good question. Yeoman Davis, Hannah Legadumas, he was in Hannah, and he's been over to my house. He was a deacon. You know. So, okay. Haziskiskoji Hamgada Hoskiga. Haziskiskoji is little sun measure. What do you think that is? Minute. Haziskiskoji is a minute. Because Haziskika is a clock, but when you say minutes, you say Haziskiskoji. 1 minute. Okay, guys. Are you behind like a boxing? If it's gonna happen tomorrow and we don't have problems, I'll be here again tomorrow. Boxing tomorrow. Oh, I know. Mado, everybody.
Mado,
Mado.
Mvhayv.
Oh, Amy, look
Mado.
at that. Oh, Amy, it's so good to see you. Oh,
Good to
I
see
would
you
tell you,
too.
this girl's been through a lot, but I haven't through it with her.
Thank
So
you.
good.
Good to
Uh-huh.
see you. And thank you for the prayers, Mvhayv.
You're welcome. Those are okay.
Hiya.
Uh-huh. Go ahead. Mado, guys.
Mado.
If we got questions like this, questions where that was asked and everything, and you know, we had some good questions today. That's what I like, because you know what? Every time there's a question, it makes me think. And I like that thinking because it's something that I need to answer. And there's times I may not be able to answer, but then I always got it in my mind. I'm saying, okay, what can I do? What can I do? Okay. Oh, I know, Mado, you guys Jay. Big grandma.
Someone gave it to me
Really? Let me
a
see.
long time ago. I don't remember who gave it to me in the nineties, late nineties, maybe 2000. I forgot who gave it to me.
Yeah. Oh, tree cutter.
Maybe
Oh, you?
Mvskoke.
Oh, Adi for you. Oh, Malkiat. All of us, that's stuff.
That kind of helped me along the way.
Yeah.
Break it down, really break
No,
it
y'all
down.
let me have it. Let us
I'll
have
give
a
you a
copy of
copy.
this.
This is a separate little book.
Uh-huh.
I'll give you a copy.
Yeah, give me a copy of it.
We can write it if you want to.
Okay,
Before I
yeah.
leave,
Okay,
when you're ready.
yeah, let's go down there then. Oh, I know, the office stick.
All right, something. That's a lot to take in, but
Yeah, it is.
but once you get in it, it's like, it's, I don't know, I'm a nerd, this stuff. Yeah.
And that's okay. Cause it's me.
I started nerding on this one as a teen.
Yeah. And it takes, well,
Mhm.
if you think about it, it took me probably a lifetime. Just,
It didn't start kicking in till later, really,
Yeah.
really kicking in, because no one really told me I can do it myself. Learn what's going on.